for YouTube to load. Make sure I'm live both spots. All right. Hello. Good afternoon. I'm Dory with Cauldron of Crafty Creations. And today we're going to fill the cauldron. So I am going to make a big batch of soup, veggie and bean soup. And I thought, why not go live while I chop my veggies and chat about life? So we're going to do the onions and the celery, and then I'll get those on the stove, and then we'll see if I can find a big bowl to put the cauliflower in until it's time to put that in the cauldron. So I got these plastic knives because veggies will kind of start turning brown after fruits and veggies after they've been cut if they're cut by a metal knife. So I got it, and want to use it for like prepping salads and things like that where the veggies aren't going to be cooked. But I thought I'd try it out and see how it works on the onion and the celery. I know that it works great for cauliflower because I have used it on that. It's maybe not, it may not be sharp enough to do the onion, but let's see. Weird. Okay, my Facebook thing keeps saying that it's there's not a good connection, and there's no reason for it not to be a good connection. I don't know what's going on with that. But oh, that onion smells so good. I got my garbage bag here to put the ends in, which we may save to make veggie stock. I haven't decided yet, but we will put them in there. Hey, Kayla, how you doing, Mama? How's that precious baby of yours doing? Oh my goodness. So we are prepping some soup. Cutting the veggies. I would often, if I was going to cook something, do like a big food prep, I'd be like, Mom, come over to my house. It's easier for me to get myself to do stuff if there's another person with me. And I was like, well, when I go live and work out and talk, I feel like there's another person with me, whether there's somebody watching at the moment or not. So why not do it for other stuff like food prep? Which actually, okay, so, and I forgot to do it on the titles, but when a friend called me one time and asked what I was doing, and I told him I was food prepping, and he goes, food crafting, and I was like, okay, I like that better. From now on, when I cook and prep, it's food crafting. So, we're food crafting today. Fill in the cauldron with healthy veggies. We'll be putting several onions in here. This is kind of a soup that I made up myself. It's loosely based on minestrone, without noodles. So I'll do the onion and celery. I've done it with carrots. I don't have carrots this time, so I'm not putting carrots in. And then once the onions, and I cook those in either butter or olive oil or a combination of the two. Depends on what I've got, what I'm in the mood for. So cook those up in the oil. And then I will add in, if I'm doing, so then when I'm ready, when the mirepoix is done, so the celery and onions and sometimes carrots, when those are cooked to my liking, which I like them fully translucent before I add broth, and I have quit buying broth because it's all got sugar in it, and so much of it has gluten in it too. And so I will just add seasonings and water. And I have to check. I don't think I have fresh garlic. I think my fresh garlic went bad. I had the peeled kind and from Costco, and it was in the fridge, and I think it's been there a while. So I don't think it's good anymore. So, but I always have powdered garlic. So we will, then once I've got the celery and onions ready, I will add some water and some garlic powder and a ton of cumin because it's like my favorite spice. Well, I have several favorite spices, but it's one of my very favorites. I love cumin. And so do that, and I will then add my beans. Sometimes I will speed things up by cooking the beans in the Instapot. I don't. My Instapot's dirty, and I don't feel like washing it. Cause yeah. So I may or may not make them in the Instapot. And when I do my dried beans in the Instapot, I like pinto beans and chickpeas. And so I will. Ooh, okay, that one is looking quite gross. I don't think I'm even going to cut into that. One of the sides look like it's probably okay, but I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to get that crap on my knife and have to go wash it. So I'm just gonna move right along. So I really only have a little trouble when I start getting the onion started, and then once I've got the outer layers peeled off, it's pretty. The plastic knife works pretty well. I do have a metal knife here next to me in case I needed it, but we're gonna just go with this one. So then I'll add those beans. I'll wash off my dried beans, my dried pinto beans and chickpeas, and add those. And those are going to need several hours. So just let them go. Cover it and boil it with the beans and my veggie stock for my veggies. And then once they're to the point where they're ready, then I will add in my cauliflower. And I've made it with zucchini. I will frequently put zucchini in this. I'm trying to think, what else have I done? Oh, I've done it where I added hamburger to it. And actually, since I have to wait since it's going to take a while for the beans to cook, I've got hamburger in the freezer. I could pull out both hamburger and sausage and add those to it. I think I might do that. So it'll be kind of a less thick chili. Sometimes I put some chili powder in it. So it's a kind of whatever you've got kind of soup. And the main ingredients I like in it are the celery and the onion, the cumin, garlic, and yeah. Oh, and then the beans, the pinto beans and the chickpeas. And then you can kind of customize and add little bits of this and that depending on what you like. So that's my soup. And then I will eat this for several days. And I may I don't remember. I was about to say something else, but I don't know what it was. So it happens. There's my train of thought. And just go on to talking about whatever else. So, what are you up to today? Anything fun and exciting going on in your world? It's kind of a gray day out. I think the high is supposed to be around 38 or 40, somewhere around there. So it's, one of those false springs that Montana likes to give us hope that, it's getting warmer, but then smack us down with yet another winter storm. So enjoying the fact that it's nice enough out to go out and do stuff. I tend to hibernate when it is icy and snowy and below 30 degrees. I don't particularly like that weather, so I try to, and I'm blessed to be able to work from home, so I don't have to go out in that too much when it gets like that. So, and I'm very grateful for the ability to still have social connection through social media. So this will be my third giant onion out of the sweet onions from Costco. And I've had them for a while. They're starting to get a little icky. There was the one that I threw away, but they're not, they're, once you cut the outer layers off, they'll be inside. That one looked like it was, the gross probably went through and through. So because that went into the bag with the peelings from these, they will not be making soup with those. I will not be making soup with those. But sometimes I will throw, the veggie bits that I don't put into my soup or whatever I'm cooking. And I'll throw those in the Instapot with some water and sometimes some, like the carcass, a chicken carcass or something, if I have one of those. And make bone broth or just veggie broth. But that is not going to happen because I got that rotten onion in there. So I don't want that. So just chopping away at my onions. I went to bed earlier last night. I think I went to bed between 10 and 10:30. So that was nice to get to sleep a little early, especially because I woke up at 5 o'clock and jumped out of bed ready to go to my craft table. Like, Tori, you need to get more sleep than this. Well, after I crafted for a while, I decided to go relax. And I was debating, my recliner, my bed, my recliner, my bed. Am I going to take a nap? And Spirit was like, go to your recliner. And I was like, but I want to take a nap. And I was like, go to your recliner. So I go to my recliner, grab my computer, and went to a YouTube channel of a friend of mine who does meditations, and found a playlist with a bunch of her guided meditations and put that on, took my glasses off, and listened to a few minutes of the first one and fell asleep. So I had a nice nap listening to Beautiful Meditations by Nikayla Marie this morning. And I don't know, I think I slept for another good hour and a half-ish. And then I got up and I did a few other things. I think I made another craft video. And then I had a tutoring session. And none of my students showed up. So I log into the session, and because students aren't there yet, I mute myself and then I watch my YouTube videos or TV or whatever. And I did that and they never showed up. So I had the lesson all pulled up and ready for them and they didn't show up. So we'll save it for Thursday. A couple of weeks ago, they didn't show up, and it was because there were school closures down in Houston because they had record low temperatures. I didn't look this time to see if the schools were closed down there. But it's kind of funny that I have 3 different tutoring contracts in Houston, which is where I used to teach. And 2 of them are with a district that's right next to where I taught. And I applied to that district, but got jobs elsewhere before I got called for interviews with them. So, all right. Some of my onions have decided they're ready to be planted. but they're still fine. You just cut that off, and I suppose you could cut them up and take that as green onions and eat them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut it off. And so I bought onions because I usually like to have onions around, and then I didn't get around to making stuff. It can be really frustrating when you have chronic pain issues because, you buy the groceries and then don't have the energy to prep them. And unfortunately, that happens to me more often than I would like to admit, that food ends up going bad before I feel good enough to cook it. So, that's not fun, but it is what it is. So, do the best I can and don't worry about the rest. So I think we'll make this our last onion for this batch. I love onion in my soup. It's like the best. And then we'll cut up the celery, add that to the cauldron, and get the meat out of the freezer and go ahead and start that thawing so it can go in there when the beans are cooked and ready. So, anybody up to anything fun today? See, there are a few people watching. Want to say hello? Tell me what your Monday is. No, it's Tuesday. It's not Monday, Dory. Sometimes the days run together and and it happens when it gets to be about January 746th, and you're like, wait, what day is it again? All right, so we've got a cauldron full of onions so far. And next, I'm going to grab the celery that's already been washed. So that should be good to go. Just chop off the ends. Really liking this plastic knife I got it in Amazon. I got a set of 3 of them. And one of them is quite little. I mean, it'd be great for like strawberries and stuff like that. But not really for the bigger veggies like I'm doing today. So haven't. And I am going to leave the celery like all bunched up together while I cut it, because it helps, I can cut it all at the same time if I do that, instead of having to cut multiple stalks separately. And, oops, oh crunch. Water decided to do a somersault. Didn't realize it was water cup gymnastics time, but apparently it is. All right, so I got my big cauldron I'm going to put over here closer, because I know that when I cut the celery, it tends to like to escape. So we will shadow on there, I guess. Keep the cauldron close. Do a couple cuts and then dump it into the cauldron with the rest of with the onions. And we'll get this going here soon. Hey, Jessica. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day. How's January in is it Michigan? Yeah, you're in Michigan, right? Are you getting tired of January stretching on to 700 and some days? I know, right? Yeah, keeping the stock intact, it totally is awesome. And it definitely helps keep the celery a little more contained while I'm chopping it. And I know 83 years worth of January. I know it's like it's been, we've had some sunnier days, and the other day it's like it was 42 degrees because I looked. So I'm sitting there doing work on my, sitting in my recliner, doing work on the computer, and I like movement out the window catches my eye. And there's a guy running down the street. Mind you, there's still quite a bit of snow on the ground. I mean, not a lot of snow, but there's still snow on the ground. And he is running in a pair of shorts. No shirt. I'm assuming socks and shoes. I couldn't see his feet, but I was like, dude. So, I mean, it was sunny. It was a nice day, but it's January. So I look at the temperature. I'm like, okay, it's 42 degrees. Like, yeah, I'd go out in pants and a short sleeve shirt and no jacket. Like, in fact, I had done that the day before. I got too hot with my winter coat. And so I took it off. But shorts and no shirt, I think it's a little bit nipply for that, my friend. Oh, thank you. I made my shirt. I made the purple pants too. Well, thanks for saying hi. Have fun doing dishes. That actually makes me think of something, because I, with my back, it's really hard for me to stand and do stuff. So like you might be thinking, oh, she's cutting vegetables sitting down in her living room because she wanted to go live on video. Yes, and I always pretty much chop my veggies in my living room, sitting on my exercise ball, because my back doesn't like to stand. Walking I can do okay, although I'm pretty out of shape and need to get where I can do more of that. But standing in one place, my back is just like, nope, not doing it. It is hurting, and okay, free night, nice. So Jessica, stay for a minute if you wish you could sit and do the dishes, because a friend of mine recommended getting a stool for the kitchen, and it literally changed my life. Got a stool, and I would sit on the stool and do dishes. And I was like, dishes are not my favorite. They've never been my favorite, but being able to sit and do dishes, I would just sit and be like so grateful that I could do dishes. I would almost be in tears. Like, I can actually do dishes and take care of myself. This is amazing. Well, then that stool broke while I was on it, which led to an emergency visit and quite a bit of pain. So that wasn't great. So I did some research, and I found a sturdier stool that was made of metal instead of the wood. And that lasted longer, and it has not dumped me on the ground, but it did get, it has gotten wobbly. And so I still have it in the kitchen, because like if I'm in there waiting for something to microwave, 2-3 minutes is too long for me to stand. My back just gets too angry. And so I have it where I will only sit on it if it's like pushed up against the counter, so it couldn't like tilt and wobble over. But need to come up with the dollars to buy a new one. I think it was like 120 or 140 when I got it. So not quite in the, but it's not the screws. It's not even, I could try, because I did that with the wooden one. I would tighten the screws every so often. I don't know. I'll have to look. For some reason, I thought I had checked, and that wasn't an option to make this one sturdier. But I might as well check again. Flip it upside down and take a look at it and see if I can strengthen it. Yeah, because I definitely, the wooden one, like every month or so, I'd started getting wobbly, and I'd grab it and come sit on my ball and flip it upside down and tighten the screws. So thank you, darling. You have a wonderful day. Enjoy your kid-free afternoon, Jessica. I will see you next time. Okay. I'm getting to the end of the celery here. And I hope that cutting the celery is not too obnoxious of a sound. I realize that it's kind of loud. So I hope it's not too obnoxious where you're listening, but I guess you can turn the volume down if it's too loud. Okay. So a friend reached out and recommended that said that one thing he knows about YouTube videos is that thumbnails are important and using big text. And so I found a picture of me posing with my exercise ball that I could use for my daily workouts, but I gotta up my game with my thumbnails. And then hopefully I'll get more views on my YouTube channel. Still working on that first 50 followers so I can go live from my phone, which once I can go live from my phone, I can do my crafting videos live. I do not have a setup to do the crafting videos with my computer because I need the camera to be above what I'm working on. And I'd have to, I don't know, maybe my computer would have to be like on a shelf above, lying face down. Either that or I'd have to have an external camera, and I don't have. Somebody said they figured out how to they found an app where they could use their phone as an external webcam for their computer. So I may look into that. But for now, I'm just recording those videos on my phone and then uploading them. And I had taken still shots to go with them. And when I went to publish them, the still shots were too big to upload as thumbnails. And I was like, I don't have time to deal with this tonight. And so haven't gone back and done it. So it's on the to-do list. It'll happen. Just not right this minute. All right. Well, I'm going to go get this on the stove. And I think I'm going to wait and chop the cauliflower later because it's not going in the stew in the pot for several hours and possibly not until tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you do something today that sets your soul on fire and brings you bliss and brings you joy, and that you follow your bliss. See you next time. Have a great day.